Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 30th of January for the Sun or the Ascendant. I'm going to give you the key features to look out for, but please stay with me. I will then dive deep to give you in forensic detail all of the ins and outs for the signs from Aries through to Pisces. If you're a returning visitor to my channel, thank you so much for joining me once more. If you're new, it's great to have you with me. Please like or comment. I answer all comments. This is very much a community. And also subscribe. And if you would like to understand what the next year will hold for you as an individual, as opposed to your zodiac sign, if you give me 3 pieces of personal birth data of time, date and place of birth, I can give you your forecast, but also my special package of 30% off, your life roadmap report. This helps you to understand where you can seize opportunities more firmly, but also some of the patterns that may have repeated themselves that are not so easy. The more you can intimately understand what these are about, the more you can overcome them. Also, I will provide your free Zodiac, Indian and Chinese 12-month forecast completely free of charge. Please see the link below. So this week begins with the Sun forging a really energized link with Mars. But later in the week, Mars and Venus are actually going to be in a tense right angle. But that can just amp up the attraction of someone that you may encounter. Essentially, the Sun in the sign of Aquarius is about friendship. Mars in Gemini is about communications. So if there's somebody that you're attracted to in a social context, then the text messages and emails can soon flow. There can be a meeting up and it can be great fun. Or you may find yourself in the mood to be much more active. But with Venus, the planet of allure, in the sign of Pisces, this is a more reflective location, but Venus actually is exalted here. It likes being in Pisces, and it's asking us to be attuned to how things feel. Mars has an element of urgency around communications in Gemini. So I wouldn't think it's a great idea to rush communications around anyone. If you get to know them this week or you've been recently getting to know them, just let things go at their own pace. But there can be a sense of desire. Now also this week, we do see the Sun in a much more discordant right angle to Uranus. And this may just ring a little bit of a bell in the back of your mind. And the reason is because a year ago, this exact aspect occurred, but also because Saturn in Aquarius has been in that extended right angle with Uranus in Taurus. But the Sun's moved in. Now the Sun obviously is about our core energy. Uranus in the sign of Taurus is about everyday money, but also our self-worth. So it is possible that there is going to be something that comes out into the open as this week goes on, that the truth seeker Uranus pushes us to fess up about. And the sign of Aquarius is very much into the idea of truth because, of course, Uranus is the co-ruler of this sign. But by the end of the week on Sunday, we have a very intense full moon in the sign of Leo. This is a culmination event. If we look back to 6 months ago when we had the Leo new moon, that forged an amazing trine with Jupiter. It was very much about showcasing our talents, our desires, our passions. But the Sun in Aquarius is at the coolest point of its journey for its entire yearly cycle. It's technically in detriment. And the dispassionate side of Aquarius pushes back at what can be seen as the more frivolous and even attention-seeking energies of Leo. And because the Uranus energies in Taurus is very much about how much something's worth, but it can be an erratic energy, this is not the best of times to speculate. So over the next 2 weeks, I wouldn't be risking any resources on any get-rich-quick scheme, or if a friend recommends buying something that just seems to be absolutely amazing, I'd slow things down. Also, this can be a time when affections, whether it's with friendships or in a love relationship, can be influenced by our values. And if our values are not meshing with someone that we're spending a lot of time with, this can bring some turbulence into the open in the next 2 weeks. But also this week, we do have a very compassionate link between Mercury and Neptune. And it's just encouraging us to try to understand why we react in certain ways, what conditions us to have the responses we have. But I think that the full moon is essentially quite a triggering event. Please stay with me for your in-depth forecast for each of the 12 signs. So Gemini, your week commencing the 30th of January forecast sees 2 big influences affecting the Sun and also Mars. And ironically, it starts off with them forging a great link together. So the Sun's angle to Mars in your sign is a great opportunity to really go for it on anything that you feel very enthusiastic about. But it's going to be important to kind of go for it, but also be very mindful, not anxious, mindful of the fact that the Sun is going to clash with Uranus, and that could in some way arouse or inflame or exaggerate anything which comes up which isn't quite going to plan. And also Mars forges a square with Venus. Now Venus for you is in the part of your horoscope to do with your worldly interactions. So Mars in your sign suggests that when it comes to relationship matters around your work, it is just finding the balance between where you want to take the lead role and where you need to collaborate with others. And if you can just sort of soothe off the earnestness a little bit, there's a better chance that you can make progress. But because Uranus is in that aggravating link to the Sun, it may be that if you do encounter an obstacle, it could become quite overwhelming quite quickly, which brings us to the full moon. Your sign is predicated very much on ideas and the exchange of them. Conversation, bright, bubbly, very interactive sign is Gemini. And of course, the position of the moon in Leo arouses that 3rd house energy. But the Sun is in the 9th house. You could encounter someone who sees something very differently from you, but the opposition to you could come from seemingly nowhere. And this could happen over the following fortnight because Uranus is in the part of your situation which in ancient astrology they would say was hidden or secret enemies. So someone may not be showing their hand, but it may be in some kind of debate or conversation or meetup or email exchange or something on social media where someone could challenge you, and it may actually be quite unsettling and quite disruptive. Then again, your own emotions may boil to the surface in a little bit of an unexpected way. So this is a week where if you're very clear-sighted, single-minded, have a good plan, and you really focus your energy on that, you can achieve so much. But just be aware that there could be some kind of peripheral issue that suddenly can become so much more important in a way which sees you quite reactive or even triggered.